How to build trust with your kids. The first and the foremost step is very, very spiritual and very, very foundational in nature. If you get this step right, trust me, your parenting will be very, very easy. But this step is gonna be useful for you only if you are a believer of reincarnation. If you are not, then it's fine. Please start from tip number 2. So, if you are a believer of reincarnation, you have to make this point your inner knowing that this kid, this soul, has been with you in many other lifetimes. This is not the first time that you are dealing with this soul, and this is also not going to be the last time when you are dealing with soul. When you have this inner knowing with you, the detachment with the kid becomes really, really easy for you, and you are able to do their parenting with lots of clarity and very less chaos. The point here is to not to put yourself on pedestal only because you are a parent. Point number 2, always apologize to your kid for your own mistakes, especially when you have hurt them because you were in bad mood. Because when this happens, then kids get the confidence that my parents keep themselves also accountable for their behavior, and that's why he will never be taken granted for. Tip number 3, drop the idea of lecturing your kids. If anything concerns you, you have to bring up the communication in a bi-directional form. It has to be a two-way communication, and the kid has to be given the power to speak his or her mind. Practice to make them a participant in the communication instead of them being on the receiving end of how you perceive things as right or wrong. If I have to give you an example, it happened with us in last year, I guess. A student, an 8th standard student in the nearby building, he committed the suicide. Now I did not wanted to bring this topic up with my kid in a formal way. So we all three of us, I have only one kid by the way, so all three of us were sitting together. My daughter was 10 or 11 years old, and we casually started talking with her. I told her, Vanya, sadly this has happened that a 8th standard kiddo has committed the suicide. I don't know what kind of a pressure he was facing. Very casually, as if I'm talking to a friend, but we should know what words we are using. And then she herself starting saying or sharing what she feels about the incident. She told me that maybe he was in some kind of pressure and he felt that nobody understands him. Now this was coming from a 10 or 11-year-old, and see how we feel that, oh, my kids are so small, I should not tell such and such things to them. No, they are not small, they are way evolved than us, they do understand things. And in the flow of the communication, you just let them know very casually that hope you are not going through anything, otherwise you just let us know, we will change the things for you. Very casually. So keep things very casual with them, but at the same time take care that your point is conveyed. When you build such kind of an environment with the kid, you will never have to sit and lecture them, sit and tell them that, see, I am there for you, see, this is right and this is wrong. Trust me, this will become their inner knowing naturally that his or her parents are with him or her always. You have to be very, very much flexible in accepting their experiences of life. They are a generation next to us, but we are still stick to what we used to believe and how we were brought up. I'm taking up this point because nowadays I'm seeing mothers being very much anxious about their 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th standard kid having a crush back in school. See, where these things are very normal, first of all. Having a crush back in school and in the college and when you were in job and all that is very normal. All this has happened to us also. So expecting them that they would not go through all this is, first of all, unnatural. This would happen to them. So we thinking that, they should not get exposed to this. It's not practical. What you should try to do is let them go through this, but you make environment back at home such that they are open to you. Now, how they will be open to you? When they are coming and telling you about their friends or maybe themselves, you have to start telling them that how you had a crush back in school. Even if you didn't have, just tell it. You had a crush back in school, you had a crush back in the college, and what were your experiences? How you used to feel very good and excited about it, but at the same time your studies were get affecting. So make it very subtle, very passive, and again slip your advice maybe next day, not the same day. When a kid sees that my parent is open to my experiences and they are not blasting or resisting any of my experience, they are more open to us. Tip number 5. Trust me, we have many things to be learned from our own kids. They are way evolved than us, but our perception is not so. Your kid might have more resilience than you. Your kid might have more patience than you. Your kid might know some other skill which you don't. Or like in my case, my kiddo is a very good baker, but I am not at all. I know zero baking. So what you have to do is, you have to make sure that you tell your kid that, hey, this is what I have learned from you. When you do so, and the time comes for you to teach them something, they integrate your teachings with least resistance. Always remember this. Always keep learning from them, and also keep telling them, this is more important. Keep telling them that, hey, I learned this from you. You're so good at it. Tip number 6. If you want your kid to trust you and tell you about his or her whole day, what all has happened throughout the day, you have to make the first move. You start telling your kid what happened in your office the whole day, or at home if you're a housewife or working from home or anything like that. Make sure that your tone and body language is very much casual and frank. Remember this always. You have to look and feel very casual and frank and carefree to them. That is when they will feel not so formal and start sharing their things. So you start by saying, I was so tired from the morning itself today. And then I got a very critical task to be done. And I was not at all in a mood how to do that task. Then I went to the pantry, took coffee, refreshed myself, got back to my desk and finished that task. And then I had my lunch. Something like that. So you are sharing with them, encouraging them to share their things, and at the same time you have also given them tips how to deal with the things when you are not in a mood to deal with the things. Right? So when a parent himself, shares so much, the kid feels naturally encouraged to share about them, about their friends, about their day. Now the last point, but it isn't the least one. Always, always, always remember, then in the hierarchy of the relationships, your relationship with yourself and with the divine is primary. Your relationship with your kid, your family and friends comes very much later. I know many would like to disagree with me, but this is what it is. You should be the most important person in your life, and when your kids see you holding high self-love, high self-value, high self-esteem for yourself, they just know that their own boat of love, trust, work and learning, it's not gonna rock. They just love their parents loving themselves, because then they know that they will be loved too. Take care of yourself. Thank you.